Hi, in today's video we're going to be checking out the Magicshine Airro mini pump and asking the question, is this a useful little gadget or just a gimmick? We're going to put it through some extensive testing. Let's have a look at this thing. Say it's pretty small. You can see just literally fits in the palm of my hand. Comes with a nice little sort of rubber cover, which is quite nice because it can get a little bit hot, and say it's nice to hold and also probably going to be better to carry. Has a little screen, you can just turn it on at the front and you can set the pressure you want, either in PSI or bar. You can change that, you can turn it on. So she's not quiet. I do quite like it's got like a cutout with a glass screen there and you can actually see the motor working, so that's kind of funky. Comes with a few attachments, little USB charger, you can charge that up pretty quick. It's got a little indicator to show you how much battery you've got, little connection tube, a little Prester and Schrader connection, a little one if you want to blow up your soccer ball, and another little adapter there as well. So, and also comes with a little bag, I guess, if you wanted to keep it nice and dry in your bag as well. So what the plan is, is to really test this thing pretty hard today and see if it actually, is really useful. So we're going to transfer now through to Garage Lance. Garage Lance, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Garage Lance? Yes, House Lance, yes, I can hear you. Hi everyone, it's Garage Lance here. It's a bit of a wet day here in Auckland, and so we're going to spend the day pumping up tyres. It probably will take most of the day as well, because the Airro, between each experiment, I'll have to recharge it. And I'll let you know how long it takes to recharge. So the plan for today, got 3 lots of tyres. Got a Michelin E-Wild 2.6, no insert, and we'll pump that up to 20 PSI. We have a road tyre off the wife's bike, and we'll pump that up to 100 PSI. And I've also got, if I can get that out of there, doesn't want to come. This is off my e-road bike, and slightly bigger tyres than the road ones, and we'll pump them up to 60 PSI. So what we'll do is I want to see how fast it will pump them up. And then I will also see how many times I can pump it up, and obviously we'll have to recharge it. Also, for hoots and giggles, I thought we could use the floor pump and see how quick it takes us to pump it up with a floor pump. And this might be fun. Might get a bit puffed on this one. We'll see how long it takes to pump up with a hand pump as well. So, should we start with a quick weigh-in of some of this stuff and see how big and see how heavy it is? All right, let's start with a quick weigh-in. The little Airro with its cover and the little Prester attachment. 165 grams according to my scale. Little hand pump, I often carry this. 155 grams, marginally lighter, but you have to agree, it takes up a lot less space in your bag. You may say, what about CO2? Should we weigh that? 120 grams, so lighter and a little bit smaller. But so why wouldn't you just take CO2 over a pump or the little Airro? Well, often when you're riding, especially on mountain bikes, you often don't have a flat tyre, you just have low pressure. You've lost a little bit of air, especially if you've got sealant and it's sealed it. So you just want to add a little bit of air. So on these things, every time you use one of these, effectively you've wasted it. They cost money, not very environmentally friendly, and you've got to get rid of them. So I very rarely use them. Why do I carry them? Well, there are situations where these are much better than a pump, and that is when you've burped the tyre has popped off the bead, and you can pump till the cows come home, and that tyre is never going back on there again, whereas one of these, it'll pop the tyre straight back on there again. So sometimes these are useful, and they don't take up much room. Now, just for interest's sake, that is a multi-tool. So that's 175 grams, so that weighs more than the pump. And we all carry a phone, don't we? We don't think anything of carrying a phone. The phone 225, so the phone is quite a lot heavier than the pump, and I always have the phone with me. So anyway, I guess we better start pumping up tyres. Okay, so set to 20 PSI. Let's start the stopwatch, and away we go. Oops, got to press the button. I've got to remember to do it. There we go. Not super quiet. It's a bit slower than the CO2, that's for sure. About halfway. Getting real close. Done. All right, we stop. A minute and a half, let's say. So a minute and a half. So not super fast, but it gets there. Now the question is, how do I know if the pressure's right? So I'm going to test it with one of these. I don't have huge faith in these, to be honest, but at least it'll give us some degree of consistency. So let's test that. It says 18, so that actually says 2 psi lower because I actually set it to 20. So anyway, we'll follow that through and see whether that's consistently the same. All right, so I guess we let the air out and repeat. Done. All right, we got it just over a minute and 1 second. So yeah, for some reason we did seem to go a lot faster. Whether I had the connection on better, I'm not sure. Let's test the pressure. 18 again, okay. All right, so that's okay. Okay, third time. I've got my doubts you can do a third one, but we'll see. All right, let's stop that. It's 53 seconds, seems to be getting faster. Okay, take 4. I don't think it'll do 4. All right, start that. Put that on there. You never know, maybe 4. It did it, 4. All right, stop that. 58 seconds. Seems to be getting faster as well. This is a bit weird. All right, let's try that. Mind you, that only says 13 psi. Let's just check that again, maybe see I didn't do that right. Oh no, that says 17 psi, so I must have just put it on wrong. Again, I haven't got a huge amount of faith in these little things, but yeah, it's consistently reading slightly lower than what the pump is. Anyway, we've got 4, 5? 5, surely not 5. I don't believe this is actually happening, I really don't. I thought it would do 2.5 maybe. It seems to drop 1 bar quite quickly on the bat. It's got 3 bars on the bat. Oh, I think, I'm not sure whether that, what's happening? Okay, I think we're there. Again, just over a minute. Yeah, 17, it's saying 17 on that one as well. So surely we can't do 6. I never thought this would happen. All right, let's go for 6. Again, about a minute. We're up to 7. I just don't believe this. I literally don't believe this thing. It's been on 1 bar for the last 3 runs, I guess. It just keeps going. All right. All right, I think my back's going to go out before the pump. But anyway, let's try 7. And it's died. It's died, yeah, it can't do 7. So 6 times managed to blow up the tyres. That's pretty impressive. I'm going to go and put it on charge and then we'll go and play with other pumps. Okay, next experiment on the list while the Airro is charging is to see how long the old floor pump takes. So let's start that. 20 psi, here we come. All right, that should be 20 psi. Let's stop that. 26 seconds, so it's certainly faster. Surprisingly enough, that reads 18 on there as well and 20 on there. So who knows who's right. But anyway, it's quicker. Now you guys don't want to see this one. Should we just skip this one? You really want me to pump up this tyre with this pump? You sadist. All right, we'll do it. Here we go. Start. Have I mentioned that I've been suffering from man flu and haven't even, you probably noticed I didn't do a video last weekend. Haven't felt very well. This is going to be a workout. Of course, I don't know when I'm at 20 psi either. At least I'm getting a workout today. I think lunch might be after this. Oh, surprisingly we're a minute in, which is about the same as the Airro. We're actually not that far away. All right, I'm actually at 20 psi, so I've actually technically gone slightly higher than the others, and about a minute 50. So actually the hand pump isn't that bad, but it is a lot more effort. You get a bit of a workout. Anyway, lunchtime and then we'll come back to the other tyres. All right, had a little bit of lunch. This thing only took 30 minutes to charge, which was pretty impressive. Now set it on to 60 psi for the e-road bike tyre. I might just buzz through these ones a little bit faster because you're going to get sick of watching me pump up tyres. But anyway, let's see how we get on with this one. And that's number 3 at 1:30. 1.5 minutes for 60 psi. And that says 58 this time, so I think that's probably about right. Reading maybe a couple of psi under. All right, number 4. Oops. Okay, so she didn't actually get number 4. Got close to number 4, but didn't quite. I think it got to about 40 psi on number 4. All right, floor pump time. Start that. All right, again, 30 seconds to get to 60 psi. So, yeah, that's not bad. Despite this being a really old hand pump, I've got loads of them flying around the garage, but this is my favourite one and is the best. It's fairly big, but can get a reasonable volume. Okay, that's still off a long way. 60. This is officially kind of almost like hard work now. 42. Okay, I think I'm going to call it on that. I don't actually think I can get 60 psi with a hand pump on this thing. I'm going to be struggling. Not impossible, but it's not really worth it. Okay, we're on the home straight. Stick with me, and you want to stick with me for this one. I've been putting the little Airro directly onto the valve and holding it there. And you must be thinking, well, surely you can do it hands-free, and while you're pumping your tyres up, you can spend that time to put your Leatt body armour on. And I thought so as well. And I tried it initially with this little hose, putting the pressure valve on the end, putting that on there, but it never seemed to consistently. It always seemed to fall off about halfway through, or seemed to be losing air, or it didn't make a very good connection. And I feel a bit stupid now, and it's not unusual in these videos, but then I found a little tiny adapter in the box that screws onto the pressure valve. This screws onto there, this screws onto there. I'll show you. Okay, so let's see if this works. I've screwed everything on. It's going. Yep. Hands-free. Probably means most of my results are maybe a little bit off, but I'm not repeating it. But anyway, you can blow it up hands-free. So anyway, got the timer going. Let's see how long it takes. Done. Okay, that took 1 minute exactly. Not bad going. Hands-free. Oops, let's see if we can take this off now. All right, number 2. What the whistling's about. Okay, today's turning out to be a little bit of an epic actually. The last one I did, the second run of this, the thing seemed to get really hot and was really struggling, so I actually stopped it. So I've recharged it again, and I'm going to go back to hand holding it just to see how many times I can pump this tyre up. But anyway, let's get back to that. All right, we got there. It took just over 2 minutes actually to do that, and it was struggling there at the end a little bit. I think it's quite hard to get to 100 psi. All right, let's try it for number 2. All right, that's 1 minute 15, something like that time. And it says 97 psi on there. So again, just a couple of psi low, but not too bad. I think probably 2. You want to see if we can do 3? No, we'll see if we can do 3. No, it got to about 80 psi on the third run and wasn't going to get there. It was also getting pretty hot as well. Saying that, this thing has done more work today than I imagine you would do in a year or maybe even the lifetime of owning this thing. It's blown up a lot of tyres continuously. So it's got this nice silicone cover on it, so it's not too hot to hold, but it is, you can definitely feel it's warming up, especially on the 100 psi tyres. So anyway, I did pump this up with the old floor pump. In fact, I think that's still probably my preferred method for doing these road tyres in the garage. And I did use a little hand pump as well, which was terrible. I don't think I can get 100 psi with a hand pump. But anyway, I'm pretty much over playing with tyres, so I'm going to hand you back to House Lance. All right, thanks Garage Lance. He looked as though he'd done a big day's pumping up tyres and was a bit fed up with that. But we did get a lot of information. Surprised me, this blew up the Michelin tyres 6 times. I didn't think it would blow them up that many times. Just under 4 times for the 60 PSI, but it only managed to blow up the road tyres twice. And it did get quite hot doing that, especially when it was hands-free. Talking of hands-free, I thought that was quite cool, and Garage Lance, after we finished, did blow up the Michelin mountain bike tyre hands-free, and that worked okay as well. So, am I going to use this thing? Absolutely. I think I'm going to take that hand pump of mine and leave that behind, and when I go out riding, even when I don't want to carry very much at all, this thing can just sit in my little hip bag, and it weighs next to nothing. As I say, it's about the same as my multi-tool. So, is it a gadget, useful little gadget, or a gimmick? I think it's a useful little gadget. I'm definitely going to use it. I still think I'll probably use the floor pump a lot. It's actually quicker, it's quieter, it's nice and easy. So I think I'll probably still use the floor pump. But in terms of carrying something to put a little bit of air in the tyre, I think this is going to be my new go-to. So anyway, if you appreciate what Garage Lance has been doing all day in the garage, maybe a thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't, leave us a comment, and of course, you want to buy one. Well, of course, I forgot about that. Of course you want to buy one. Magicshine.com, you can get one. There is my discount code. You get 15% off. And if you use the link in the description, that might help buy Garage Lance a cold beer to make up for all the hard work. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.